Ladies and gentlemen, 2025 is upon us, and who better to talk about the off-season, the thrills and spills, than the king of Barclay Street himself, Dougie Hawkins. Welcome.
Matty, how are you, Matty? Fantastic to be on board, Matty, again for 225. We've had a bit going on at the kennel, Matty, a bit happening at the kennel, and I'm sure at some stage of our conversation we'll be touching on a few little things or a few little matters that we have an opinion of. But we're looking forward to an exciting year, hopefully, Matty, for the Bulldogs and for all of our great, fantastic supporters and members out there of the Footscray Western Bulldogs who love listening to Matty, to your and my opinion, and Paul, of course, as well. So, mate, I'm looking forward to a great year, Matty.
So right off the bat, let's bring up Jamara, because he's been in the news. The media have been coming at him from all angles. Now, our track watchers were at Whitten Oval today, and the reports are that he's flicked the switch. He's been welcomed back into the fold, and you know there'd be no better sight than to see Jamara back on the field.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Matty, and you may recall, and all of our listeners will recall what Dougie said in our first show a month or two ago, and this is all before the problems and the issues that Jamara had and the club had with him and he had with the club and stuff like that. But we don't know, Matty, all about that stuff. But I did suggest it to trade him, Matty. Remember that?
You did, yep.
And I said a lot of Bulldog supporters are going to be shocked and stunned by it all. And I was talking on the fact that the boy Darcy, remember, I said was going to step up and be an outstanding player, and the boy Jamara could go on and be a great player. But I said that, well, there's value there. We need a good young backman. And that was a reason why Dougie said transfer Jamara. It was nothing to do with what's been happening in this kid's life. But, Matty, it's great to hear what you said, that he looked like he's back on track. Matty, I had an opinion of this, Matty, and I want you to hear this one, and all of our Bulldog people out here. I had a thought that an ex-player from the Bulldogs would be a fantastic mentor. And it's not me, which I would be a good mentor for the young bloke, but this bloke did it when he was a 16-year-old, went on to be a Bulldog champion and went on to be a AFL, VFL legend. He come from Darwin when he was 16, and I'm talking about Michael Magic McLean.
Oh.
Matty, I would have loved that the Bulldogs to go and speak to Majo, offer him 4 to 6 weeks to come here into Melbourne and to live every day and walk and be with this boy Jamara. I personally think it would be a winner. That's just me, Matty, from my opinion. There's been things, as we know, in this kid's life. He's 22, and Michael McLean would put his arm around him, Matty, and you know what he'd do? He'd tell him all the good things that are ahead of him, and he'll tell him about all the crap things. That is where you're going to be going, son. If you want to keep going down this track of what's happening in your life, this is where you're going to be. And he'll tell him how it is, Matty, and he won't kid glove him. He'll put his arm around him. And I just had this gut feeling that Michael Magic McLean would be outstanding as a mentor for young Jamarra Ugle-Hagan. That's only my opinion, Matty.
Yeah, how good.
What do you make of that, Matty? What do you make of that?
I love the idea of that, Dougie. And you've got Magic with the speed dial, so you might be the man to make this happen.
Well, Matty, I'd love to speak to the Bulldogs. I haven't. I've kept out of it. But just this idea and this thought that, you know, if this young bloke needs support and help from a brother, another Indigenous boy who's done it. Magic done it. He was the original. He come in at 16, Matty, and our Bulldog people. You all know he copped a lot of crap. He copped a lot of crap early days, and he got over it. He weathered the storm, and he went on to be one of the fair. Not only was he a legend of the game, you know what he is, Matty? He's a champion bloke. Wow. He's a champion bloke, and this is what I just reckon that young Jamara needs, a brother to tell him how it is and support him and guide him through this real tough period of his life at the moment. So there's a thought for the Footscray Western Bulldogs hierarchy, Matty, from the CEO to the president, and of course Luke Darcy, who now is obviously a director, the father of Sam. Have a think about it. If you hear it or you don't hear it, someone will say something to you about what Dougie thinks.
I'm sharing this with them right now, and Sammy Power as well. So if you guys are listening, how good would it be to see Magic wrap his arm around our boy Jamara?
Put Maggio in there, Michael McLean. He's the one.
Music to my ears, Dougie. Let's get him down there. And you know what? How good would it be to just silence that media throng of McClure and Barrett and Lloyd and Corns once and for all, and see some egg on their face?
You know what, Matty? If I was captain of the Bulldogs, where Bont is,
yes,
I'll be rallying my troops, my teammates, my brothers. We'd put our arm around Jamara, and we will support him, help him, guide him out of that situation he's in into being one of us again. I would make sure that happens that way. As a captain of the footy club, I'd be doing that, and I'm sure the Bont, who has a very, very good relationship with Jamara, and if Bont's listening or gets hold of this, you Bont, you grab your teammates, you grab your brothers, you put your arm around Jamara and you guide him and help him out of this rut he's in and make him become the player or the great player that he can be. Even though I tried to trade him, Matty, before this crap. But anyway, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be supporting him, mate, as a captain of the club.
That's fantastic to hear. And, just what's our message for supporters? Because, that they can really get easily roped in by some of the things that the media have to say and demonising Jamara. How important is it for supporters to back him and back our man?
Well, Matty, it's critical, mate. It is really critical. Outside of the playing group, number one. Probably number one, Matty's the coach, Bevo. Bevo's got to, we hear rumours and stories, which we don't know, whether the outside Matty looking in like our supporters are. Bevo just got to embrace him and welcome him back into the fray of all things. And supporters, get behind him. All you supporters, get behind. He's red, white and blue. He's one of us. He wears the famous number 2. I reckon Bernie Quinlan wore that. Did Jack Collins wear that? Did Hollywood Jack wear that?
I think you're right, yeah.
I reckon Jack wore that in the 54 Premiership where he kicked 7.
There you are.
And EJ obviously number 3. And I got a feeling Peter Box was 4. I reckon Donnie Ross was 5. The great Donnie Ross from Albury.
Brilliant.
Who won the 56 best and fairest when Peter Box won the Brownlow. See, you know what, Matty? I know the history of the Bulldogs footy club. This is where our younger players don't. It's just... You know what I mean? Talk about the history. Show these young boys the history of the Footscray Western Bulldogs Football Club. You heard me just say these numbers of blokes that have played in the 54 Premiership. So I made it my business when I was a young kid.
Can I ask you on that? Why is it important for players to understand their history, like the players and the culture of the club and where we've come from? Why is that even important?
Well, Matty, Matty, I'm going to share a story here, and I hope young Bailey Smith doesn't mind me doing this, and guess what, if he doesn't, bad luck. I went to a first-year players' function about 4 or 5 years ago. I was sitting in between Bailey Smith and Brian Royal, the great Choco Royal, rover in our team of the century, won the best and fairest in his first year at the age of 19 after knee reconstruction back in 1983, one of Footscray's favourite sons. Anyway, I went to the bar, Matty, to get a drink, and Choco said to the young fella, young Smitty, he said, "Do you know the bloke sitting next to you?" This is after about half an hour. He said, "No, I actually don't know him." And Choco said, "Well, he's actually vice captain of the team of the century. It's Dougie Hawkins." And young Smith said, "Oh yeah, I've seen his photos on the wall when I walk into the rooms." I ran into the bloody pole driving home from the function. He just wasn't aware. Matty just wasn't aware.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's what triggered me again.
Yep.
Because I made it my business.
Absolutely. And, how good it would be, for a future number 7 to be sitting down next to you and you say, you know what it means to wear the number 7? And, they carry a bit of Dougie Hawkins with them, and that, that baton continues to be passed on. I think that's invaluable.
No, you're right, Matty. I agree with you, mate. So, hope someone listens to what we're saying, Matty. Make the boys aware of the past. And it's not about me. It's about the club. It's about the players and coaches and medical staff and all that stuff, and the people who make the footy club.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, Dougie, Back to the season ahead. The footy gods have been a little bit cruel to us, haven't they? They've been throwing down a few thunderbolts. And I know you know a thing or two about lightning, but gee, there's been a few boys struck down.
Yeah, they have, Matty. There's no doubt about it. The bomb went down that practice game over in Launceston, which looked like a tight calf. Not having the Bont play in the first 4 or 6 weeks going to make it awfully tough for one to do that.
Yep.
I think that. And then we had Treloar, the young kid Treloar, second the best and fairest last year, had a great, outstanding season. I reckon Matty All-Australian.
Yep.
Polled the most Brownlow medal votes for Western Bulldogs, 24, 25 votes behind the Bont behind him on 19. So we lost him as well.
We lost him as well, Dougie, but one of my track watchers was down at Whitten Oval today and spoke to him. Now, he's actually said he's ahead of schedule and there's an outside chance he could be back as soon as round 2, which is our huge past players and 100-year celebration against the Magpies, which is his former club. So if he were, to push the envelope and get back for that, what a welcome sight that might be.
It'd be fantastic, Matty, and down back, no doubt it'd be fantastic for Treloar to come back for that. But Matty, Liam Jones is critical, mate. He's just so critical. Roy Lobb had a good 6-8 weeks patch, didn't he, last year down there in the back line? If he has to be our man, now we're under a little bit of pressure. I don't know if he can play back deep. Particularly the round 1 playing on a kid like Larkin. I'm not sure that's his role.
Right.
No. So, our back line, does Bevo bite the bullet and stop being stubborn? Bevo, can you hear me? Play Norton at centre half back. Play Darcy in the goal square. 1-on-1. Let him have the best defender, because guess what? This kid's going to be a gun. He'll take on the best defender in a heartbeat from North. Chuck Norton at centre half back. This is the time to do it. Anyway.
Yeah. You do. You really do want that, don't you?
I love it, Matty. Matty, and all of our listeners, our Bulldog people, have known my opinion on this.
Yep.
And we know he's come as a backman. I just reckon this could be the right timing.
So we, with these players being out, and we also haven't mentioned JJ, who'll probably be out to about round 6. And then you've got Waitman, who's probably going to miss another 8 games as well, the first 8 games. There's some opportunities that sort of come up from that. And, I guess, that will be reflected in your team selection. But, down up forward to replace Waitman, it's going to be a bit of a raffle between Artie Jones and McNeil and West. How do you think those sort of small boys will go?
Yeah, it will be, Matty. It will be very, very hard for the selectors to pick that small forward type of player. But in saying that, Matty, I felt that Riley West went to another level last year. I was really impressed with young West. I just thought he was terrific, and I was, and you know how I felt about him not being picked for that game against Hawthorn in the elimination final. Yes. I know he had a crook jaw or something like that. He earned his place in that side against Hawthorn.
Yep.
I believe that. And not because he's a son of one of our greats and a mate of mine, Scotty West. He earned it on his own bat. His season was outstanding. Matty, I think he kicked 35, 36 goals. He was only about 8 or 9 behind
Jamara.
Aaron Norton.
Yeah.
Aaron Norton. He wasn't far behind him, Matty. So I thought Westy had a great year and earned his spot. And don't be surprised now with the Bon out and Troy. He might pinch hit in the midfield a little bit too, Matty. Riley West. I'd be nearly doing that if I was Bevo. And the boy Artie Jones, well, he's got that bit of X factor about him. And who was the other boy, man? There was another boy.
McNeil. McNeil kicked 4 goals last practice match.
That's number 30, isn't it? Number 30.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. He goes right, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, look, he's dangerous. He's just probably got to put 4 quarters together because when he's on, he's a sparky, dangerous player. So let's hope. But all 3 of those, they can add pressure. They can fly for their grabs, and they can be explosive on the ground as well. But I guess with West, he's sort of more a head down and just crash through. So we're going to love seeing it if he has another good year.
I've got some breaking news for you, Matty.
Oh yeah,
there's another West out there. There's another Scotty West son. His name's Levi. Now he's 16, and the mail that I've been getting and the mail that I've heard that this kid is real good. Matty, this kid is a gun.
Oh.
I know it's a big rap. If he's half as good as his old man, Scotty, you'd be very happy. and this is not having a crack at you, Levi. But the mail is, Matty, this kid Levi West is real good, and we'll get him. If the Dogs don't get him, they'll get him. We'll mark this name down, Matty. We said this in 2025. Levi West, going to be a gun.
Unreal. How old is he?
Pressure's on him. He's 16, I reckon.
Pressure's on.
Pressure's on. Hawkers whack the pressure on you, Levi. Step up, son.
You put him in the Hall of Fame already. Come on, Levi.
Yeah, just remember that name, Matty. Levi West.
Magnificent, magnificent. Now, how important is a good start to this season, Dougie? We've struggled, haven't we, in previous years? And then the heat gets turned on the coach. How important is it to get off to a flyer?
Matty, very critical, mate. Poor critical. Particularly for our coach, Bevo. A lot of pressure will come outside the club if we drop a few early games.
Right.
And you and I know, Matty, the North Melbourne game's no walk in the park, mate.
No way.
So the pressure's on, Matty. Pressure's not just on the coach, Bevo. It goes to the whole playing group that they need to step up because we've been slow starters, Matty. We haven't really got out of the blocks, have we?
No. The last 3 or 4 years, we're usually 1 win, 2 losses, something around that mark. And it's just hard to sort of get that momentum. We play catch up. We don't want that to happen, do we?
No.
But
we don't need it, Matty. We don't need that. We need all that outside pressure away from us.
Right.
I don't think that adds a stacked inside, but sometimes, Matty, when you get a lot of outside pressure, it does put pressure inside the club as well. But gee, we need to really get out of the blocks, Matty, this year, and not play, like catch-up footy, winning games to try and make the 8 or trying to, you know what I'm saying, don't you? Let's get the runs on the board early. As the great Charlie Sutton would say, Matty, shop early, avoid the rush.
The rush, absolutely. Yep, Charlie will be looking down, praying for that one. There's no doubt.
Shop early, Dougie, and avoid the rush, Dougie. That was Charlie. Shop early, Dougie.
Love it.
What a great man Charlie was.
Let's pick your first five rounds then, Dougie. You always put in your tips, and supporters love to hear this. So let's roll out rounds 1 to 5. So as you said, North Melbourne, round 1. We're at Marvel Stadium. Kick us off. What happens?
Well, Matty, this game concerns me a bit, particularly with the personnel out. And we don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that the Bonds not playing, and he's our leader and he's our best player. Critical out, Matty. And I'm worried about this mob. I just reckon they might be up and about a little bit. But this is a great opportunity for some players to step up, to really step up. And put it this way, Matty, there's no other Bond in our team. He's the Bond. Bond's the Bond. But here's your chance to put your name right in there, in the mix and right up there, by putting in a couple of real good, strong performances early in the year, and particularly this round 1. This is a game which I reckon is real critical, Matty. I think we can beat North Melbourne, but I'm not writing North off. I just reckon they're sitting along all right. Clarkson's a good coach. But I'll say it again, Matty, this is a great opportunity for some players to put their hands up.
Right, yeah.
And show they're really worth what they wanted to give to the club and deliver, and particularly with the great leader out in Bontempelli.
Yeah, absolutely. What better opportunity for someone like Sanders and Fraser and to roll in there and just show us what they've got without the big guns. So let's hope it.
We can win that, Matty. We can win that, but Jesus, it's a tough one. It worries me a little bit.
All right, absolutely. So let's get off to a good start. We get one on the board, and then we face the arch enemy, Magpies. What happens, Dougie?
I think they're a good side, Colleen. What I really do, and I think they're the real deal, and I think they'll be right around the mix this year after last year's disappointing year for them on the back of their premiership win. We need to be at our best, Matty. We need to really, as a group, we need to be right at our best. No bigger stage, and you'll have 80, 90,000 the MCG. No better stage for us as a group to step up and take the mighty Magpies on. They're a good side, Matty, Collingwood. We just need to be right out. I think Magpies might get us, Matty. Yeah. It hurts me to say because I hate that. I'm not a mate. Either you love or you hate Collingwood. I hate them. I don't like them 1 inch. Hearing me say Collingwood makes me nearly vomit. But anyway.
Well, All right, we'll then go to round 3, and we'll be playing against Carlton. Carlton at Marvel. Can we knock over Carlton? This is going to be tough.
Yeah, we can, Matty. This is it. It could be, 2-3, 2-1, 2-1 wins, North, and we're going to be a tough one against Collingwood, but we're not out of it. But it's going to be hard to beat them. Carlton, we can get. There's no doubt about that, Matty. So, leading to round 3, if the pressure is right on, this is where blokes need to step up. Led by the big kid in the ruck English, and these kids, Darcy and these younger players need to come along and step right up, Matty. So we can beat Carlton. So there's 2, Matty. Hopefully 2 out of 3.
All right, and then we go across to Perth and we play the Dockers, who are a rising team. How do we go?
Over there, Matty, is that what you said?
It is. Yeah.
They're probably a 5-goal better side over there, or even more. This is a real critical game, isn't it? A crunch game so early in the year. As we said earlier, Matty, we need to get off to a flyer. I reckon we can beat them over there. I don't know enough about their personnel. This is a real critical game early in the year. How's that? We can get them.
Yeah.
We're going to get them. We're going to get them.
Woo, all right. Well, you know what? If we were 3 wins, 1 loss after 4 rounds, I'll be up and about because
tough gig, tough game.
Well, but round 5, if we're in that position, we'll have Bont back. We'll have Liam Jones back. Trelaw will be back as well, and JJ will be sniffing around on the fringe.
And Jamara will be back.
Okay, so imagine Jamara back for round 5.
Going to give you a buzz kick. It gives a playing group a kick, 100%.
Absolutely, and we'll be playing round 5 against the reigning premiers in Gather Round in Adelaide.
Brisbane Lions at Norwood, Matty.
Norwood.
Be 8,000 there. You have to stack them in. You won't be able to. It's not a big crowd, Matty, is it? Norwood, it's a pretty small ground.
Yeah, it's small.
Brisbane, what do you do? Can we get them? Probably not, Matty. Probably not.
Okay.
What's that? 3-2. 3 wins, 2 losses.
3 wins, 2 losses. Would you?
I'd take that every day of the week without the Bont.
Yep.
And Jones, obviously, pretty good down that back. Anyway, 3-2, Matty. There it is, 3-2, and we're just hoping for that 3-2, mate.
All right. Well, we'll watch with great interest to see if round 5 went 3-2, buddy. Nostra Douglas is back in business, and we'll be very thankful. Let's hope. All right, the moment we've all been waiting for, it's Dougie's round 1 selections. You've been rolling this out the last couple of years and the supporters love it. Let's have a look who you selected first. So the back line, here it comes. Okay, Bramble, O'Donnell and Taylor DeRace.
Yeah, the Bramble's been good, Matty. Bramble's been really good. He was pretty good last year. I thought he was really steady and reliable and had a pretty good year, Matty, the boy Bramble. And O'Donnell, they like him. The club like him. They continue to pick him. And I think he has improved. Don't forget, I think he had a cricket background. Obviously, his old man was an ex-Australian, Simon O'Donnell. This kid had a cricket background and played a lot of footy, Matty, up to the age of 18, 19. So he's just going to get better and better with games played. And Duray, well, he's had a pretty good season. Left footer, runs, carries. Pretty tough kid. Puts his head over the footy. So that back 3, I'm pretty happy with that, Matty.
I'm pretty happy with that too. All right, let's have a look at our half-back line. You've gone Bailey Dale, Rory Lobb. You didn't go with Norton and Fraser in as the running half-back as well. That looks pretty good.
Well, Bailey Dale picks himself, Matty.
Right.
Picks himself. Number 31, terrific. Carries, runs. He had a bit of an up and down start, Matty, didn't he? He had a few little hiccups along the way early last year, but his finish of the season was outstanding. Roy Lobb's effort to go back and the way he played, Matty, he turned his career around. He was gone, Matty. Roy Lobb was gone from the Bulldogs. He was going to his 4th club.
Right.
Great move by Bevo to throw him back to the back line. As you and I know, Matty, and all of our supporters and Bulldog people, it makes you go to the contest. You go to centre back, mate, you've got to be involved. You can go in the forward line, you can be a watcher, you can be looking around and daydreaming, but you go in the back line, mate. As Mick Moldhouse used to call it, the men's department. That's what it is. And he's gone into the men's department and he shopped very well and he did a good job, didn't he, Roy Lobb? And the boy Fraser, this kid really impressed. I was really happy the way this kid played and developed. I did a function, Matty, last year at the Horsham Saints with Mark Jackson, and they said to me, this kid's got a real great future. And it was in the middle or early in the year before he really had the season that he had. Matty, I thought he was terrific, this Fraser, this kid, and he really stood up. He was put his head over the footy, had a few tricks. So that half back line, Matty, got a bit of run, and Droid Lob he's gone to another level, so that'd be good.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, well, let's see our centre line. Who's on your wing, Dougie?
Yeah, Bailey Williams, well, he's a senior player, steady, very good player, 34, good player, Bailey Williams. He's picks himself. I like it when he kicks the ball long, gets it in, don't muck around for too much, Bailey, get it in. The other bloke, well, he's one of my favourites, Matty, and I think this boy, Thomas Liberatore, even though when I say boy, he's probably 32, 33 now, he's as critical to this team as a Bont is. Bont in his brilliance, this bloke in his toughness and his hardness, like his old man Tony. This boy Liberatore, he's got a lot of pressure on him, Matty.
Yeah.
To step right up, and which he will do. He won't let anyone down. And you know what you're going to get, Matty, from Liberatore, don't you? 100% effort. You're going to get it. Doesn't matter. Once he crosses that white line, Thomas Liberatore, he's going to give it to you. And the boy Davison, blonde-headed kid.
That's right.
Saw little bits and pieces, Matty, of him against Hawthorn. He was pretty good, wasn't he?
Oh, he looked magnificent. I think he got 29 touches and just looks composed. You know, he played magnificently in the VFL for Richmond last year. So he's a ready-made player. He's more mature. And, I reckon he's pretty much ready to go.
Looked like he had a few tricks, Matty. Looks like he had a few steps. Not many blokes playing the wing from the Bulldogs had a few steps, a few moves. Bit of dodging, bit of weaving, bit of ducking. But he looked good, Matty, didn't he? He looked clean, he looked tidy, he had good balance, a good decision maker in heavy traffic. Blonde-headed kid, and he had a bit of flair about him, had a smile on his face when he did a couple of good things. He's earned his spot, and you just don't take him from that game. He's probably had a good pre-season as well. So the Williams, Liberatore, Davison, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, good, well picked, Dougie. I love that. All right, the forward line. Here we go. All right, so you've gone Vandermeer, Norton, and you've got Matt Kennedy from Carlton. All right.
Well, Kennedy's got to play, Matty. He's got to play. You got him from Carlton. I think he's a senior player, particularly with some senior players out of our side. This young bloke from Carlton comes in and he gets his opportunity. Norton, well, you just want him to come along and bring his A-grade game, Aaron Norton. You know, he doesn't have a lot in between, Matty. You know, either he's real good or he can be bad. He's at a stage now of his career where if he's not setting the world on fire, he can still be okay, still be reasonably good. Vandermeer runs, attacks, tackles, chases, harass. He's a goer. I like him. I don't mind Vandermeer and Kennedy. You want what they do, Matty? They keep the ball in.
Yeah.
When it goes into your 50, they'll tackle, they'll chase, they harass. Norton does that. He'll tackle and chase and harass. So you got a half forward line who will keep the footy in, which is critical.
All right, here's our forward line. Dougie, so you've gone Westy and McNeil alongside who you probably have tipped as the Coleman medalist potentially, Sammy Darcy at forward.
Well, you know how I feel about West, Matty. I thought last year he really took his game to another level. He was under the pump, he was under pressure. I thought he was terrific. He's a bit like Vandermeer and Kennedy. He'll tackle, chase, harass. McNeil's the same. You've got a forward line, a smaller forward line, who do that stuff, all that hard tackling and pressure, keeping the ball in. Then you've got your marking options in Norton and Darcy. Darcy's going to be a superstar, Matty. I've got no doubt about that. And he'll get the best defender, but that won't worry him 1 inch. He's a kid that can really going to be a star. And with Weston McNeil, there we are. 2 good marking options. Don't muck around you on balls. Get the ball inside 50. And you got 4 blokes who'll keep it in and hunt it. Tackle, chase and harass. And you got 2 very good marking options. It's not a bad forward line, Matty.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of players missing, isn't there? But the team looks pretty solid. So that shows how the depth of our team. And here's our other midfielders. You got Timmy in the ruck. You've gone Sanders, to take Bolt's spot and really step up, and Eddie Richards, who you love.
Yeah, well, English, Matty, has the potential to be one of the best ruckmen in the competition, and he probably is right on that borderline now.
Right.
Being one of the best ruckmen, Tim English. And this is the year where Tim English really needs to step up, grab games by the scruff of the neck when it needs to be grabbed. This is when he needs to do it, Matty. He really does, and I think he can do it. He's got to believe in himself. He's just got to have that little bit more fire, a little bit more bloody angriness in him, and he'll be fine, mate. He can play. We all know he can play. Don't worry about that. The boy Sanders, well, number 9, Matty. Number 9. Got a few tricks, tough kid. His kicking can be a little bit up and down at times, young Sanders. But he's earned his opportunity to get that ride with the Bon out. And the boy Richards, well, he just went to another level. And it was a great move by Bevo to play him on ball. What I love about him, with Libba getting the ball inside, he handballs it, and this kid Richards runs. He runs and carries. He kicks at 60 metres. About 6'1", maybe 6'2". Young Richards, not a small on baller. Mate, I like that on ball brigade. I think it's pretty good. And the boy, I thought Richards last year was just terrific, had a great season. And again, well done by Bevo to play him on ball.
All right, well, this team's looking awesome. Let's see who your final players are on the bench. And as the sub, you've gone Harms, Garcia, Gallagher, Karmas. Okay, good. And Artie Jones as the sub. All right.
Yeah, well, Harms, the opportunity. Matty, he got picked into the side to play Hawthorn before West, which surprised me a little bit. But he's got the opportunity now to step on up. Again, he's a tough kid from Melbourne, played a bit of footy. Garcia, I like him, Matty. He's a tough kid, pretty hard at it. Got a few tricks. I think he's a little bit better than that. I think he can play a bit and needs that opportunity. Matty, the kid Gallagher, I don't know a stack about him, Matty, the boy Gallagher.
Yeah. Well, he, I guess he played a lot of games in the back half of last year.
Yeah, back half. Yeah.
So yeah, let's hopefully he's one of those players that you sort of say a young kid who takes an opportunity, and hopefully he's able to step up.
Yeah, it was sort of funny, Matty. I was sort of picking between Gallagher and Jones. I was sort of mixing up a little bit there.
Oh.
I just sort of wasn't quite sure. I thought Jones got a few tricks and sharp around the ground level inside down in that forward line, and the boy Booker, well, Matty, he may go into the back line.
Yeah.
What do you make of that team, Matty? What's your thoughts? What's your opinion on Matty?
I absolutely love that team, Dougie. It looks as strong as it possibly can be. If I were picking it, that's what I'd pick.
That's what you pick, Matty. Who's stiff? Is there anyone stiff?
Look, Buslinger, he hasn't put a foot wrong, but just can't quite squeeze in. And there's a guy called Josh Dolan who I think we picked him up with pick 31. He's been unbelievable in the last few weeks, so he might even be a smoky.
Okay. So, Matty, that's it. All of our supporters, there it is. As you said, Matty, you can't put everybody in. Yeah, I think our supporters and members and all that, that's where I think we can be out round one. Yeah, we'll be right, mate. We look pretty good there, pretty sound.
Love it. Well, you see the missing players we've discussed. That you've cobbled together a magnificent side there, Dougie.
Look at the outs. Look at that. The 6. Johansson at his best. He's regularly picked. The rest pick himself. You know what? If the media, and we have a couple of shaky starts, if the media has a go at Bevo, they can go and get knackered because that's hard, mate. Serious, isn't it? I mean, not making excuses, but when you 5 of those out there, you're first picked anyway.
Well, you've got a 5-time best and fairest. You've got 2 All-Australians, a Norm Smith medalist. You've got it all there. You've got a number 1 draft pick. So there's a lot.
Waitman's going to be a star. Number 3 is going to be a star.
All right, Dougie. Well, despite that, you picked us 3 and 2. Let's hope. So, Bulldog supporters, get behind us, and who knows what's possible.
100%, Matty. Get behind us. Go, Dog.
Go, Dogs. Dougie.
Hey, Dougie.
Let's do it.
On you, Matty.
Red in my heart, white in my veins, blue in my red, white and blue in my brain. I'm Bulldog.